the impact of problem-based learning through constructing explanations and designing solutions.
So the idea is it's easier to get materials to where you're building the track if it's on highway, because highway's easy to get materials. But this would be like neighborhoods, and you'd have to buy people's houses and stuff
in order to do that. Why don't we just do it along here? And then,
you could.
Plus, that's a good view of the water.
You get a lot of refunds for the water view.
So then we could just take it up here. Then we could go down a little bit.
So let's look at some post-test results. We went ahead and did the same post-test as pre-test so that we could compare the results.
Some surprises that we had was how much we were able to integrate into all of the different science concepts, integrating graphing and analyzing and interpreting. And we were also surprised at how much the students struggled. So almost all of our students struggled at the very beginning, and then after a little bit they were able to at least analyze graphs.
We are going to talk about modeling in middle school science. There are different types of models. There's mathematical models, 3D models, theoretical models, computer models, historical models, and visual models. We don't get to all of them in our lessons, but we get to most. Models can be used as scale models. So here a student was comparing distance and orbital period. It helped me to see what misconceptions that students still had.
Specifically, I read a Native American story about a rock who started up on a hill and he tumbled down, and all the processes that he had to go through in the rock cycle. The one on the left is from a gifted student who made a very simple basic drawing and added some words to show the process that a rock goes through. Then on the right, the student did the same thing. This is an average student.
The first model I used was a cutout model, so students balanced the methane reaction. The second model I used was the mathematical model, and then finally used the virtual model. This is actually a PhET simulator model.
Hi, my name is Carrie Pogue, and my GPS project is integrating robotics into the 5th grade classroom. We use Dash Robot as seen here, and an app called Blockly. I wanted a math and science focus. I wanted to make sure that my project integrated grade level standards. I also wanted a component of student-led exploration, along with rubrics and assessments, so I could see my students' knowledge from the beginning of this project to the end.
I paid a lot of attention toward the implementation and applying the interactive notebooks in the classroom. Ultimately, I'm going to take what I've learned from this and create a training that I can send out district-wide. This all stems from the idea of right brain versus left brain. We use that right side of the brain and we're giving them this new information. So this right side, it organizes information. Students are creating an emotional attachment to the information that you're giving them. The left side, analyzing information, the reasoning and the logic behind it. So whenever they're actually applying that knowledge, they're using the opposite side of their brain. So they're actually having to create a relationship with whatever it is we're learning.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Hecker, and I am a 2nd grade teacher at South Elementary in Eldon, Missouri. My district goal was to create a 2nd grade science curriculum resource library. For the teachers in my grade level, we have 6 2nd grade classes, and I wanted to be able to give them lessons and activities that not only aligned with our next generation science standards, but with our reading curriculum. When I got my materials, my students were super excited, and so were the teachers that I teach with.
Since COVID-19, I did actually use Google Classroom every day with my students. I was able to assign many assignments through the day And my students were able, well, their families were able to go ahead and pull these up every morning, and that was their assignments that would last for the following day. Using Google Classroom was a great impact for all of our first grade classes. I know the families eventually started getting very familiar with using this program too.
What I hoped I would do was to inspire first graders to be keen observers of the world around them so that they could appreciate the environment, appreciate the community, but then be a voice for that community and environment. And so in our temporary school home, we found where the sidewalk ends, and we spent several opportunities in this location. We were able to focus on literacy standards, both in reading and writing. We were able to enhance and strengthen our observation and questioning skills. The children learned about collecting their information and their questions in science notebooks, but also through creating art pieces.
What I did was create some scaffolded worksheets that were designed to take students from a very basic understanding to a more concrete and in-depth understanding of how to analyze data. My early worksheets dealt primarily with data that was pretty and was easy to manipulate. For example, the atomic radius of an element on the periodic table. As we got to more complex information, for example, isotopic abundance of different elements, then students had to rely on that understanding before they were able to really sit down and analyze what was going on.
So room 2 started like room 1. We think that we need to have a healthy and hearty dose of optimism to work from, knowing that we're going to be facing challenges.
Echoing positivity and community for sure came up during our discussion.
A lot of districts are throwing around several different plans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options. And teachers are getting really anxious. So we need to kind of get a plan in place to try to stick to making sure we stay solutions oriented, being open to frequent change. We have to be flexible.
We were talking about the need to have an open mind and ready for improv. The thing that we need is internet access.
Having professional development so that teachers can actually teach effectively virtually, because this is a new challenge for all teachers.
Take the remaining time and try to recharge your batteries, so whatever awaits us in the fall, we can work with that.
First major takeaway, we love the collaboration of getting to see the different groups, and we would appreciate if these videos and resources were made available in a shared file. And then another major takeaway was we would love to have some kind of introduction like this same video conference at the beginning before we watch the videos.
I would say that I really watched all the videos and the posters, and it was really amazing to see how much hard work and how much thinking a lot has been put definitely to arrange the things and to make a video. All the students are really participating and they're coming up with the answers. And being a teacher, it really feels so great to see the students interact, and it makes the work more relevant.
But when you're with that just smaller 3 grade span,
there's just something about like the camaraderie that you have. Like I personally just really liked it. I think it was good for my soul.
I really liked that I could go back and rewatch or watch parts of presentations again in case I felt like I missed anything.
And it being online, you could kind of take it at your own pace. Do a little here, take a break, do a little there. It was, I think you probably got more out of it because we were able to space that. So what did
But it
you
was
guys
fun to go see, and you could see more that way too, because when we do the conference, we don't get to see all the HCCLS, videos. This way we could see all of them if we wanted to.
But then we also talked about the disadvantages of the online format being, you just don't get that connection with people.
It would be really helpful if we could have breakout sessions like these where we would be able to interact with the presenter.
Sitting in this conference and thinking about the Zoom learning, now we know how our students felt the last part of school and how hard it was for them to participate in learning. But I do think it was nice to see the GPS projects and be able to talk to people about those.
So the idea I had kind of was just in the whole alumni series. We could do an alumni Facebook page, and it would have different sections of here's stuff that kindergarten teachers learned, and here's stuff that middle school teachers could do.
The purpose of the Wipro program is to create teacher leaders who can support initiatives in their districts. And I think that you're not supposed to have to do that until after you're done with the 2-year program or the 3 or 4 years or whatever, then you become a leader. It's like, no, we didn't have that chance. Just like the healthcare workers who graduated medical school had to right away get into the hospitals and start doing work. Some of you were called on to be leaders in your district, and you stepped up and you said, I can help other teachers with this. And I think that was wonderful. And I think that your districts needed you. And I think that you did step up, and I think you will step up because this thing is not over yet. Well, I can't wait to see all of you face to face again. And I suspect that when we do meet face to face, we will realize that that's much more special than we ever knew before COVID-19. And I look forward to that. So thank you again. Good to see everybody.
I will say thank you all, and I will let Mira have the last word. Thank you for participating. Thank you for sharing everything. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the summer. Mira?
So I want to add my thanks to Dorina and to Arthur. This conference has been, to a large part, a collaborative undertaking. We've had lots of feedback from fellows, be their district coordinators, or IHE faculty from other sites. And that is a part that has been just wonderful about the whole Wipro program. And then I should definitely spend a few minutes thanking all of the presenters. You all did a fantastic job. You had the hardest job of them all, because here you were having to teach virtually and having to deal with your own children and then having to deal with new technology. And then all of a sudden you had yet another piece thrown at you, which was to make videos of your HCCLS presentations or your GPS presentations, and then to come along, and as soon as school ended, here you were dumped into the middle of the conference. And it's just been wonderful to see how much participation we've had. I'm very thankful to all of you for being so enthusiastic about participating in this conference and for helping make it the success that it is.